right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our podcast. My name is Jay.
My name's Nicole.
And we have a really important update today, and that is that
We rebranded.
we've rebranded. This is we've previously been known as the Wildly Painful Podcast, and we felt like we've outgrown that, and we've renamed it to the Waking Room. So welcome to the Waking Room.
Welcome to the Waking Room.
Yeah, we felt like it was a good way to. It better represents our space that we wanted to create to invite people in and explore things that might awaken stuff within.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we're also outside today, so I hope you enjoy the view.
Tumwater Historical Park, the Deschutes River,
Yeah.
90 degree something day.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are. So, yeah, it's a big day for change.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we're in the spirit of the podcast name, The Waking Room. I was going to talk about a way in which I feel like I've recently woken up. Because there's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of, abstract things that people say, like you get what you put out. How often do you hear that?
Right.
But I think I just started to understand that in a literal way. Okay. So, I have this relationship that was very, it's hard to think about what context to provide and where to start, but essentially this is a person who is sometimes very in touch and very affectionate and very warm, and sometimes very distant. And I'm very sensitive to that. I'm constantly, without necessarily trying to, I feel like I'm like an antenna, right? That's reading the state, and any changes it detects. So if someone is kind of constantly having, let's say you have a really great day on Friday, but then you don't hear from them even when you reach out to them for 5 days. So it's really, I feel like those are quite contrasting. Wow, this is so incredible, to he's not responding for days to my text or whatever. Okay, so I have this going on, and then I have my nervous system and all of my stuff that's on top of that recently. Okay, so what this tends to do is freak me out, right? This tends to freak me out. The distances tend to freak me out. We'll have the closest, and then we'll have the distance, and the distance tends to freak me out. And I tend to be well, what? I can write stories. What are some of the stories that I've written about this? You've watched me. He's seeing other people. He's
Moving on.
He's moving on. He's only trying to keep me on the hook.
Or he thinks I'm too much.
Yeah, or whatever. Or yeah, he doesn't really like me, and he just isn't. He's too scared to tell me,
Yeah.
or he's trying to keep the peace, or whatever. Okay, there's lots of stories, but recently we had a gap of 5 days or whatever, and I feel like that. Yeah, I hope this is
It's fine.
okay. It's taking a while to find my voice. Had one of those times where a Friday was an amazing day where I felt so open-hearted, so connected, so hang out with him and his daughter, and then him call me that night for more connection for an hour, and it's perfect, and then I text and I get nothing for 5 days. And this has been going on for a while, so whatever mechanisms are coming and going, they're really ready to fire up or whatever. Okay, so then when I finally called him on Wednesday, it didn't go well because he wasn't in the best place, and I was really hurt by that. So the conversation didn't go well, and he was already on edge anyways, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to get to a point somehow. So, then when he reached out next and was warm and receptive, we'd had a big gap. We have all my narratives, and we have all this space. And so I'm not coming at it from a whole position. I'm coming at it from a fear position. So I think this is, I don't know. Anyways, sorry, I'm having trouble.
It's okay.
So what during these long absences, I think this is the main thing I'm trying to say. During these long absences, I have two people that I'm really, really close with. Okay, I have Jay and I have my mom. and I talk to them about these long absences. But I now realize that when I talk to them from these long absences, I talk to them from a state of fear and anxiety. Okay? I'm not coming with you. I'm not coming up to you and saying, he hasn't called me in 5 days. I'm coming up to you and saying essentially he doesn't love me anymore. Like, I'm coming up with this fear narrative, and I'm afraid in some way I'm telling you this is what he's surely doing. Don't you agree? This is the problem. Don't you agree? Clearly he doesn't love me. Clearly he's not committed. Don't you agree? So when I do that with you, or when I do that with Mom, I get agreement and support back. That's what I'm trying to say about what you put out comes back to you. Because both of you and my mom have responded very similarly. You've said, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that you are probably right. He isn't listening to you. He isn't supporting you. There's other behaviors or whatever, and you're reinforcing the negative, and you're reinforcing basically a self-protective strategy. That's what you and my mom are. Try to move on. Try to take care of yourself because this guy is not being there for you or whatever. Okay, so then I'm getting reinforced. So if you have these 5 days where my nervous system is already prone to worry, then I'm approaching the people that I confide in with a posture of, I've already decided this is bad, and I'm just looking for you to please validate it for me. You guys give me that validation because you trust that I've made the right decision, and you're just supporting me however you feel you need to support me. Does that make sense?
Right.
So, basically, this thing grows and snowballs. And then, so imagine when this guy reaches out and he is warm and he is trying to connect. Guess what's already happened? I already have this sense of like, this is what's already certainly happening, and he's just trying to trick me. He's just here trying to trick me. So what does he get? He gets barbed, he gets guarded, he gets protective. But he's been going through totally his own stuff, depression. He has different ways of handling it, whatever. But I've decided he's bad. We have bad conflicts, and it goes to shit, essentially. And I guess I'm trying to get this out and express this in a way that's helpful. But basically, I'm only able to say it now to you after the fact because I've gone through it and I understand that's what was happening now. Because when I was doing it, I thought I was solving the right problem and finding the right problem, but now I have different beliefs about it. Like that there is personalization going on, and that I'm afraid, and that I'm putting out fear and getting fear back. Even my therapist, I like walked her through all of this, and she's like, "Yeah, you sound like you're behaving like it. It's interesting that you and your friend talk about addiction with this because you are behaving a little bit like an addict, and this guy doesn't seem like he wants to be in the thing." But then at the very end of therapy, I start going, yeah, but I don't really know how much would be enough, because when something good happens, I feel there's an immediate countdown clock to like when is he going to lose interest. And her tone immediately changed, because then she's like, okay, we're a little confused because anxiety might be like at the helm.
Right.
So then she knows she's not getting the, I'm selling this story about how this guy doesn't love me or care for me, and I'm getting support, and then I'm going, I don't know how much support would ever be enough to quiet the voices that are so scared that I'm going to get abandoned. Then the tone changes, and then I'm open to change, and then I'm open to receive, and I'm still looking at broader patterns. We're still not out of the woods yet, but things are going really well. And there's been some integration of what I've asked for. There's been some like, oh, this person is trying to come a little bit closer and meet me. Oh, I get an I miss you text, like what I wanted the whole time. This kind of stuff. So anyway, that would be my most recent thing, is like, yeah, I only understand it now because I stepped out of it, but I was pretty fucking convinced of it when it was happening. And it was a long time coming, and yeah, you get what you put out, and I have to watch that, and I have to watch that anxiety. I'm very afraid to be abandoned, and I very much manifested being abandoned. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have a powerful mind, and we ended up in a breakup scenario. I'm happy that we're not there anymore, but we ended up in a breakup scenario, and now we're not. But the breakup would have been the thing I was fearing the whole time, and it came to it because I couldn't in those moments be open and receive because I was too closed and I was trying to protect.
Right.
And it caused so much conflict. And then I had the fear reinforced because I was so confident of it, because I don't know always the difference between the voice of my emotions and my own voice, or the voice of reality and my story.
Right.
So anyway, I manifested abandonment, and then I hot mess fought for it back, and hopefully things are going better now. But that was a huge wake up call.
Yeah.
So
really good for you for like going through all of that, because that can't be easy.
Thanks.
But I mean, you bring up a good point, because like what you put out is what you get. But like it's like you had framed the relationship as a certain way, as one that would ultimately hurt you.
Yes.
know? And so not only have you framed it like that, but even what you were getting from him, your mind likely latched on to confirmation of what you thought you already knew, and then that exasperates the problem, right? So and then when you're relating it to us, there's a certain, as you were saying, like it's all colored by this assumption that this is a scenario where abandonment is guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
And so when we're thinking, well, we don't want you to feel that way, but like we want to validate. We're not wanting you to stay with somebody who's going to abandon you. So we're supporting the abandonment by supporting you in a way.
Yeah. Bizarre, right?
It is bizarre. And so all it took, though, is, if I'm not mistaken, was your therapist at the very end of that session to just kind of insert another possibility of what is happening for you to, I'm not going to say completely undo these ideas of abandonment, but I think just shed a little bit of understanding that another reality might be possible.
Yeah.
And then all it took was just the idea of another reality being possible for it to open up for you as something to experience.
Yeah.
And do you notice that, and this is like the story of the prodigal son, or I don't know how to say it, prodigal son or whatever in the Bible, is like, you don't have to go all the way to reverse your actions in order to get what you want. So like you're not completely healed of abandonment issues.
Right.
You know, you had a speck of enlightenment of it, and it has, at least thus far, completely turned things around. So, and I don't know if you know the story of the prodigal son.
Yeah, I love the prodigal son story.
Prodigal,
yeah.
But there's another verse in the Bible, I don't know why this shit's coming up.
I love it. Hit it.
It's another one where it just says that just a simple tug on the bit of a horse turns the whole body. Do you know?
I love it.
Yes, and just even the helm of a ship, a small little thing, turns the entire ship in the ocean. Like, it can navigate. It's one captain at the helm.
Shit.
So it's like, and it's controlling the entire big ass fucking ship. So like, and the Bible is full of stuff like this, of how it really just takes getting only a certain way there. You do not have to like think positively 100% of the time. You don't have to like undo who you are in order to create a new reality. It's just about having an element of hope, or a spark of excitement about it that we once felt hopeless about, right? Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. I love that. That's so hopeful.
Yeah.
Because it can be so easy to be like, man, I have so much work to do. I have so much to do.
Right.
But you're just pointing out that, like, I might have changed course.
Right.
But I might not be fully healed, but I still might have changed the outcome just with a few corrective actions.
Right, and those few corrective actions can lead to full healment without any much work, really.
That's
exciting. The first step is the work, really, in a way. In a way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the crack, the crack of the mirror, you start seeing
Yes.
through it,
Yes.
is just as valuable as whatever else we think we're supposed to do. Tear the
Right.
mirror down.
Right.
Just seeing that it's a mirror.
Yeah, exactly. But also, and this brings up another thing, is that, you know, and you've mentioned it like this a couple of times, and you just reminded me that, you know, various times while you were talking about, throughout your whole entire relationship, mostly with this guy and others, you've often mentioned, you know, having these attachment issues that you've always had. So, like, you carry this identity as somebody who needs to do all this work to undo childhood shit.
Yes,
You know what I
I
mean?
do.
And that simply just doesn't have to be true to have to, like, spend another lifetime or the same amount of years that you spent in it to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's just, and I think a lot of people get stuck in that overwhelming, daunting feeling like, oh, I'm programmed a certain way and I have to deprogram it, and it's like it really doesn't have to be that difficult. Maybe for some people, because that's how they work and that's how they want to undo things. But I mean, you're providing a perfect example here. But also, when you told me about you reconnecting with him, I felt supportive of it, even after, you know, there had been 3 months of feeling like I felt like he was really, I hate to say it, a shitty person, a narcissist. Like, I was really like, gosh, he's really doing all this shit. But so the thing is I'm also reflecting back. Like I didn't have to be convinced. You didn't have to convince me
Right.
to change my opinion about him.
Right.
And I was kind of surprised myself, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna be like, this is something I feel supportive of. So it's like there's multiple aspects of it. Your entire reality of the situation changes, not just that specific relationship. you
Yeah.
know? Now you've got support. Or,
Yeah.
like, support you didn't even have to fight for.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to fight even for the change with him. It was just an understanding shift.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That is so freaking fascinating.
Yeah.
That is so freaking fascinating. Because what you're pointing to, well, you're pointing to a lot of things, but it's really exciting. Because first of all, what I found really fascinating about that conversation, the one you're talking about, where I told you about it,
Yeah.
it wasn't just what the darker voices in my mind would have said to expect would have been you to judge me. But now I have enough trust and experience with you that I knew that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
The second thing that I might have expected was, hey, if you're good with him, I'm good with him. I support you no matter what you want to do.
Right.
It was a step higher.
Yes.
You were like, I'm happy for you.
Yes,
You used the word tickled.
Yes.
And so I knew that we were looking at the same new reality together and enjoying it.
Right. Yes, we were, but I have shifted to meet your new reality.
Oh.
And that's, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what I'm saying. Is like I'm just a byproduct of your new understanding of what could be possible. You know, it's
So
just all you
cool.
did was shift a little bit in the horse's mouth, and the whole horse, which isn't just that relationship, it's your entire experience of the relationship, which includes the people that you share it with. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh my God. So cool.
Yeah, it's fascinating, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And then it's self-perpetuating from here. Because that was Monday. Then I went to a party. Then I went and saw him.
Yeah.
The Monday was the therapist, by the way.
Yeah.
And then the little crack in reality.
Yeah.
And this is also when reconciliation of the breakup was also going on, and emotional labor showing up on both sides, even after what looked like this person breaks up with you and then begs for you back in a public place crying. This is looking really chaotic, so I'm showing him hot mess.
Oh, right.
And all this reconciliation is going on, but then so I'm showing my flaws, which makes me also insecure, but then therapist is showing me new reality. I'm opening up to new reality, but then I see him. By that time, I'm so open to the new possibilities that we then have an amazing time.
Yes.
And now I'm being just like flooded with messages from him.
Right.
He called me this morning just to say good morning for a half hour.
Yes.
So it's self-perpetuating.
Yes, it's self-perpetuating, and I just want to call out something real quick.
What?
Is that if you notice, you didn't have to completely shift your perspective. You just had to be open to a new one.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just being open.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't judge it yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and I'm sorry, I'm just so excited
Please,
because
yes.
you made another point that I still want to come back to that I'm
Please.
really excited about. I have the perception right now, and I probably do more than I need to, like you were saying, which is really quite a liberating thought to think, oh, I don't actually have to carry the luggage anymore, but like I have the attachment and the stuff. And here I am going, I have to practice, I have to do this work. And you're saying, I'm going to say it in a different way,
Yeah.
but you're saying, no, just fucking seeing it undoes it.
Right.
So you're thinking, work took you, I was thinking, problems took me there, and now work is going to take me back.
Right.
And I'm just seeing it. And the
Yes.
whole thing is dissolving.
Yes, exactly.
So awareness is the shit, and it's like you've always said, it's unlearning. In those moments of awareness, I'm just not seeing the same bullshit that was there, and then
Right.
I'm existing from a whole nother place.
Yes. You've rejected the basically the identity that you've held this whole time about how you show up in relationships.
Right.
You know, you've just simply, you didn't even have to like reject it fully. You just stopped engaging with it in your thought.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's just about being open. It's like not showing up with this preconceived notion, which is subconscious. It can be so subconscious.
Right.
And sometimes you need just an outside party just to like spark a curiosity that it could possibly be different.
Yeah.
You didn't have to read a whole book about undoing attachment issues or what could possibly have happened to Nicole in her childhood that may have caused this or something.
Join a 6-week somatic therapy, whatever
Yeah,
the fuck.
right.
Yeah.
You didn't need a 10-day Vipassana. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Sometimes we're so weird and hard on ourselves to what we think we need to like.
Yeah. I think what happens is we, and I this is exactly how I feel, and I'm struggling with this too, is like I have like this notion that I'm broken, like, so this shit has happened and it's like, oh gosh, I'm broken, so I have to somehow find a way to repair myself before I can really show up properly for somebody, or like, you know, like, and to feel broken, it's like, I mean, you kind of, in a way, you feel worthless. You feel like there's so much stuff that comes with that feeling, and then you feel like you got to repair yourself from pieces that you don't even have anymore to build yourself back with, or come up with new ways or new glue or something. You know? And
Yeah.
it's like, it just feels like kind of overwhelming. But I'm glad we're having this conversation because you're right. It's really just about being open to the fact that, you know, despite everything that we may have experienced or everything in our lives that may have made us feel a certain way negatively about us, it's really just being open, like opening ourselves to showing up differently, like not expecting it to go to shit because you feel like you were shit or have issues with whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you really, in this conversation, got me thinking about what that means then. Because if something bad happens to us and we get a perception of ourselves, even if that next the only way I can explain this phenomena that we're talking about, where all we have to do is see that a reality could be different and then invite it in, the only thing that I can figure is that we can also be scared of a good reality after a bad reality has happened.
Right.
Like,
right.
That's the only one that's coming to my mind, and it's blowing my mind because it feels maybe intuitively true, and you're responding like you agree, maybe.
Yes, I think you and I had a brief conversation about this, not on camera, but like about how good things can feel incredibly vulnerable. And I think it's like probably the fear of losing it or it being transient or something. I don't know. Do you know? Like,
Yeah.
it could be anything, but like having, or even like expecting like a good outcome and being disappointed is worse than being prepared and expecting the bad outcome, even though it's self-perpetuating.
Yes.
You know, it's like we're creating that bad outcome by thinking we're preparing for it.
Yes.
And I think it's good to prepare for a bad outcome, but be open and in fact put not more of your attention on a good outcome, because I think that sets up expectations, but I think releasing the attention on the bad outcome.
Yeah.
Just releasing the attention on the bad outcome is what steers the helm.
Yeah.
Of like 180.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people get so hooked up. And like we're saying, we feel like we have so much work to do. Oh, I have to be thinking positive thoughts all the time, and I you know, like, and gosh, we're stressing ourselves out. We're like causing more issues in the background, and then when it doesn't like really work out, we're like then judging ourselves. We're really piling on shit. But it's just about, yeah, just releasing the negative. You don't have to like gain this whole new way of being.
Yeah.
Which in a way it is kind of being its own way, but it's a releasing process.
Yeah.
It's not a trying to build a new out of nothing process. It's a releasing process.
Right. It's quite a bit easier than we're making it.
It is. Yes, easier. It's easier than we're making it.
We've become these like academic productivity list making machines that think, oh, I have a formula to follow. If I do these actions, I will get this outcome. Like,
right.
we have these amazing minds, like we've talked about on the podcast many times. We have these amazing minds, and they can build fucking, airplanes, the artificial intelligence. We can build AI that's smarter than people.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But the only thing we can't do... the only thing that we struggle with now is going, oh, you can turn that off and just be with it. Let's be with what's here now.
Yeah, and maybe what's here now isn't bad at all.
Isn't bad at all. It doesn't need a new...
a thought. Wow. Like, just, it's so obscenely, it's absurd in a way.
It is. It is. This is legitimately crazy.
It is.
But it's relief that we're seeing it so that we can feel more free, because I don't know about you, but I get really bogged down thinking that I have to do all this work on myself all the time.
Right.
And when we're looking at it right now, it just seems like a laughing it off thing.
Yeah.
Like, I understand now when people are saying just like chill, and I'm like, but you gotta be really uptight though. And now I'm like, no, but you do. But you can let it go. So those mechanisms must be there to think that you're protecting yourself. They're self-preservation. Like the mechanisms to...
Yes, they're self-preservation. And this is what, and I may have said this before, but it's because we've identified with being a certain way. And by releasing our identity with something, it's almost like that identity feels like it's going to die. Like, that's how strongly it can hold on to it. It's like it's thinking that, not like physically going to die, but obviously that identity that we have become so familiar with and we've lived with and we've developed a comfort with, if that's no longer there, you know, what is left? And that's I think why it can be so difficult to kind of let go of the stuff and feel like there's so much work that needs to be undone. You know, we want to see the process of it detangling. We don't want it to just disappear. When it's very possible for it to just disappear. It doesn't serve us. And it's within our control to not engage with that anymore.
Yeah. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
God, what a trip.
Yeah.
What a trip, though.
I know.
It's so fun. Like, it's so fun. I don't know about you, but, like, we've talked about this stuff before. You've always known a lot about, like, spirituality, and you've, like, coached me here and there, and everything that you've said has proven to be true, but I get really excited when I run into it experientially in my own nervous system with all the nuances of being human and how it shows up.
Yeah.
And it isn't just some high philosophy.
Right.
So I don't know,
Yes,
this is gold. Integration is gold.
Yes, it's a very practical way of living,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it gets a bad rap.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear the government is behind marketing it as woo-woo and whatever. I mean, you know, it's just my conspiratorial mind.
That's okay.
So I'm half joking, but half not. But like, you know, to like kind of discredit it, but it's like this is a human thing, and therefore it applies to all 8 billion of us beings because we all have a mind.
Yeah.
You know, and that is where the work is done. It's consciousness, literally.
Yeah.
That is, you know, that's the creative force behind things.
Yeah. Love it, dude.
Yeah.
I also want to tell you that you can have some
Oh,
water if
thank
you
you.
want.
I-
If you want, because
I would like that.
if you get a little taste, it's because it used to have electrolytes in it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's what's happening.
Yeah,
I don't know,
thank you.
just because it's 90 degrees, and yeah, I wanted to offer. Yeah. Okay. So this is amazing. And the other one that you have said, but I have run into recently, because obviously, if the first 3 months of the relationship were this amazing together thing, and then the second 3 months were apart, in a cesspool of my own mind, I have been working with fear a lot. And by working with fear, sometimes I mean drowning in it,
Yeah.
numbing it out,
Yeah.
winning, but sometimes I have a victory. And another one that was semi-recent that I did, with Akshay's help actually, because I will have accused him of something, and then in that particular conversation, he will have sat with me, we will have worked it out, which is again more evidence. If you just look for it, you're going, these are hour and a half conversations that he's sitting with me to try to help me with the fear sometimes. Anyways, one of them was one of the artifacts of my recent my recent grapplings with fear is like, oh, I'm afraid of that because I care. I'm saying that because I've heard abstractly, maybe even from you, like fear and love are parts of the same coin.
Yeah.
And I have witnessed that neurologically too. Okay, so after that conversation, I had a temporary victory, but I have a tendency to forget sometimes and lose these victories over time. But for many days, when the fear would come up, I would realize that there's two things happening. One is fear trying to control and predict a for sure doomed outcome with the mind. It's like scanning for it. But then it's like I'm redirecting the energy in when I say like, oh, I care about that. Like, that's a safe thing to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I care about that. Okay, like, I'm afraid that he's going to leave me or whatever because I care, because I care, because I care. That's a safe thing to do. And I think that somewhere along the line, that didn't feel safe. And then my mind got really good at trying to scan for threats because I care. I haven't exactly been able to fully verbalize, so maybe you can help me get there, but what's happening there. But it feels really empowering to just admit that I care and be with that, even though it feels excruciatingly vulnerable, rather than, okay, the fear's doing the thing. I can feel it drop to the ground and lose its power immediately when I say like, oh, I must care about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I must care about that. It feels like I'm going back inside my body to what's true about me. And that helps too, because I have reversed mechanisms. Like, I'll keep babbling out because I'm trying to explain something in a few ways.
Yeah.
So during those 5 days, yeah, he wasn't very responsive to text, but I'm thinking about him a lot, right? I'm thinking about him a lot.
Yeah.
I could have called him too.
Yeah.
I could have called him, but what I did instead was be afraid of what it means that he's not calling me.
Right.
So I've said, Fear, you take the driver's seat. Thank you for finding a problem. Instead of going like, oh, like, I'm thinking about him because I care. Like,
right.
What a horrible use of caring resources.
Right.
To be like, find the abandonment over there. Spend a bunch of time. So he keeps, and he's phrased it differently. He's like, you can take more initiative. I've noticed, Nicole, that you need to take more initiative. When you're wanting something from me, why don't you try to give that thing?
Yeah.
And that's absolutely true. I'm the mind is trying to fix the external circumstances, I need to own that it's vulnerable that I suddenly want to walk up and hug this person, or I suddenly want to text a vulnerable thing to a person. I need to own that that's vulnerable to do, and sit with that, but that is the more empowering choice, and that's where I want to put the energy. Right. I don't want the treadmills running out here. It's just it's a useless expense of the energy. Right. So anyway, that's that redirection, which I'm not always successful at, but have sometimes recently been successful at. Like reading a fear as like, oh, if I'm afraid that I'm never going to find a job again or whatever, that means that I care about being part of the workforce. That means that I care about having a career. That means that I care about doing what other people my age are doing. Like, that's good. That's a safe thing to care about, right? Yeah. So much better. Yeah. Than drowning in the fear of the circumstance.
Right. It's focusing on the drive for something as opposed to the loss or lack of something, right?
That was the perfect sum up.
Yes, and it's just the words and the perspective. Like you said, you brought it back within yourself. You no longer are fearing something outside of yourself. You are recognizing something within yourself.
Right.
And literally that's what makes all the difference.
Right.
You know?
Right. So I might not be natural, and I have this suspicion sometimes, I might not be a naturally scared person. I might be a person who fucking cares a lot about some stuff, but then handled it poorly, and I just need to train myself to just be, it's okay to care. Right. Yes. It's a safe thing to do, to admit that you care about something, to admit that you want something. Yes. It's scary if you've had it rejected, especially when you couldn't handle it. Right. Like we talk about, like internalizing a harsher world. You can think of horrible scenarios that can happen to you when you admit that you care about something and do things to care about. But we can sit with that. Oh, I'm afraid of that because I care. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah. But I think that's a really huge, like, re-identification of yourself, that you may not be such a fearful person, but that you're just somebody who cares a lot. Like, I think that's like something that's like a life-altering shift in self-awareness, or how you view yourself, your self-concept. Yeah. You know, because thinking that you're just a fearful person, I mean, that makes you small. That makes you small in the world so big and against you. Yeah. But somebody who cares a lot, I mean, that's like acknowledging your capacity for your bigness. Yeah. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I care a lot. That's a safe thing to do. Yeah. It's a safe thing to do, yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting because I expect bullying. So there must have been people that make fun of you for caring in certain, or I just internalize. Yeah. Anyways, I can see why people get afraid to care. Yeah. But it's not actually scary. We are getting a chance to revisit it as adults. Yeah, or exactly, whatever. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it is. It's really cool. It is. It's really free. It's really cool. Yeah. I was just calling out but yeah, it completely immobilizes fear when you do that. Oh yeah. Right. Absolutely. Like, oh yeah, I must care about that. Okay, I care about it. I'm caring a lot about that right now. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good way. It's a good way to spend the energy. Right. Exactly. And I think it's. Sorry, am I cutting you off? Nope. I was done. I was worried that I had cut you off before. Oh no. I was just gonna say, I think that it's interesting, but completely, it makes complete sense that, you know, with this new understanding about your relationship, or your openness about your relationship, and as well as this new thinking of yourself as somebody who cares a lot, that you've gotten your first phone call for technical, like, you know. Yeah. So like, this is. It's open. It opens up multiple channels, and I'm not saying like, oh, that specific opportunity is going to land because you're doing this work. It very well could, and I'm hopeful. But it could mean that it's setting the tone for other things to come through. Yeah. That would land. Yeah. You know, like I just think that it's interesting. Yeah, it hits multiple areas of life. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So awesome. Yeah. It's just a validation. little icon there.
I know.
That's where we put the old beliefs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm loving this. I'm loving that getting to a better place in a relationship or getting to a better place is just a seeing. It's just a seeing and not like okay, now I have to do 30 Pilates and 45 Hail Marys or whatever the fuck.
It's 100% inner work and it's 100% perception work.
Yeah.
Like, the outer world truly reflects your inner world in that kind of a way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah, you don't need... Yeah, exactly. You don't require any other work, yeah.
I have this, like this weird... Yeah, I have that weird tendency to like think that I need to do it perfectly to get to the thing.
Right, but it's if you can try to retrain your mind to think that every quote unquote mistake is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, that in and of itself is the same type of work.
Yeah.
You know?
So good.
It's just being open for it to not be have a devastating result.
Yeah. Good Lord. Or just a familiar. Like, you have got all of the things that you have said are landing in my brain. They're coming at me one-on-one. Oh, Jay said that before and it's coming more relevant. But you have always said, just like I had been talking about earlier, where we're like afraid of the new outcome, even if it's good. We are creatures of the familiar.
Yes.
We are afraid of the unfamiliar.
Right.
We are not afraid of the bad. We are habituated as fuck to the bad.
Right.
We've come to expect the bad, and that is all that's happening. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean.
But yeah, and it's the fear and that reinforces the bad. It's a cycle. But like, yeah, exactly. We, generally speaking, I think humans are more apt to choose the familiar path of pain and suffering as opposed to an unknown path. You know, the fear of the unknown is that powerful. I've noticed like some people, they are really attached to their sadnesses. You know? And, some people you can try to, get them to see it differently, and it's like they're inconsolable, or like they just refuse, or they get offended almost when you say, when you try to point out the good of a situation. Like, I don't know if you've met anybody like that, but, I feel like sometimes we just get very attached to stuff that hurts. Because it's like letting it go almost opens up the path for experiencing it again anew, fresh, with a new wound. Whereas we'd rather keep the old wound, and because we know it already.
Yeah, and intellectually this makes no sense. But subconsciously and behaviorally, it makes perfect freaking sense.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
Yes.
This is just life.
Yeah, the known makes us feel more prepared to handle it, I think, is really what it comes down to. Maybe. Yeah,
because how hard are situations, like, you can understand why these things get built, because getting totally blindsided and hurt is unequivocally horrible.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yes.
Like the other day, you were like, you might just need to be devastated for a while. I'm like, no.
Right. Right.
No, I won't be doing that.
What the fuck are you talking about, man? That's what we're trying to avoid. Yeah, exactly.
But it's manifesting. It's avoiding feeling devastated is manifesting the devastation.
Yeah. Specifically fearing.
Yes.
Because the fear is it's a creative energy force.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's kind of reinforcing the cycle of it.
Yeah. And like I had mentioned to you off camera, like, this is summing up how powerful we can be, because whatever part I'm playing, my awareness is playing, I manifested my worst nightmare, and now it's going well, and we're just going to take it like one day at a time or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't believe, after spending time with him one-on-one and going, yeah, this is us, this is amazing. We're people staring at each other on a dock around other people for like an hour. We're intense. We're weird. There's nobody like us. So what I'm saying is there's a compatibility and a depth that is like, yeah, this is undeniable. This is not going anywhere, right? But I still manifested a breakup, right?
Right.
So that's a powerful mind.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is this tool is so good at the fear ones. Like, what if I could have so much energy going into a positive one?
Right.
Like, if we could just train these fucking things.
Yes.
If we could just train them into, like, I don't know, like, oh, all my spare energy, instead of worrying all day, goes into gratitude.
Yeah.
Or just joy, or what other good default pathways are good to build? Like, then if your mind's just habitually doing that, I mean, what could change?
Like, I feel like the easiest way is like, I mean, yeah, creating pathways for joy and expectancy of good is like ideal, you know. But if for somebody who has that deep program, I think the starting point is to just say, this can turn out okay. And it's like, okay, this doesn't have to be devastating, or just find something to distract yourself from just not engaging with those thoughts. You don't have to do something completely joy-inducing, or, you know, something that's going to take you into like this high energy at all. You can stay in low energy, but just take your thoughts off of the catastrophic thinking, you know?
Yeah.
And just little bit by little bit, it has a snowball effect. Just when you are able to like loosen your grasp on those thoughts, it's like the exponential release of them is, or the release of them is exponential.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So these are powerful machines. We can just train them.
Yeah, we can just train
them. Yeah, that's a good one. What if it all works out?
Yeah, just
what if it all works out?
Yeah.
What if it goes really good?
Like why am I deciding it's going to be catastrophic? How is that serving me? Maybe think about that for a little while, as opposed to even trying to convince yourself it'll work out. You know, just say, but why do I think this? Just, you know, it's like self-questioning is very powerful. Like, where is this coming from? And even if you can't find an answer, well, why am I so attached to these thoughts or expectations, you know?
Yeah, a little bit ago, a Deepak Chopra quote floated into my memory.
Okay.
He goes, less than 1/1000th of the stimuli that are available to you you're going to perceive less than like 1/1000th of the stimuli that are like available to you, like, and the ones that you're going to perceive are the ones that already reinforce what you're already looking for. Like, when I'm afraid Akshay's going to leave me, I'm really good at finding data.
Right, you are looking for confirmation each day that he does not call.
And I'm great at it. And I can zoom back through obscure conversations that I'm taking out of context.
Right.
Or when I can find all sorts of data the other way.
Right.
So when you're talking about spiraling or whatever, when you're thinking about, you go, what makes me think that? Only the thoughts and perceptions and the mood themselves. They're just playing with each other in nothingness. Like they came from nothing, and to nothing they shall return. They're just like, they're just like a brain pattern, a brain wave that was there.
Right.
And that is what you're seeing.
Yes.
That is what you're seeing because it was already there.
Right.
And then our job is to maybe allow and be with, but also see and believe something else, which is really harder than it sounds.
Right.
But somehow, you'd think from all the shifting that we've done that would be easy. But in those moments, it is actually hard to believe something else. But
it really is.
But I like what you're saying, though. That's the baby steps there.
It's
right
just,
there.
It's just,
what if it's
just allow the question to come in?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't have to have an answer.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, you could find the root cause, like, back in 1999, this shit fucking happened, and this is why I will never trust this type of situation. And the thing is, whatever happened in 1999 or even the day yesterday is not the business of the present moment.
Right.
It just isn't. It's not applicable.
Right.
It's a completely different thing.
Right.
So why bring that shittiness into your present moment?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
Why?
you know, we've said time and again, this is easier said than done. I mean, we are programmed a certain way, and at the end of the day, biologically or evolutionarily, it's to help protect ourselves because we don't want to be in pain. But at the same time, we're kind of wired to seek the familiar, like we've been saying. So it's kind of like a fucked up process.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to learn to let go little by little.
Yeah.
You know, of what has been.
Oh my god. This is connecting some fucking dots for me.
Yeah, good.
I'm thinking of us as just like, let's take out the human brains and let's just imagine that we're animals that go through something.
Yeah.
A tiger attacks or whatever.
Yeah.
Then that little brain is going to get really good at scanning for tigers and running away from tigers, but in a weird way.
Yeah.
Builds its life around the tiger.
Right, their life becomes it's defined by the tiger.
It's defined!
Yes,
their whole universe is that!
Yes, your identity is anti-tiger. You know?
Oh, God!
Yes.
Then the quality of life is so bad, but this is us! This is the human experience.
Right.
Luckily, we can work with it. We are working with it, but if not intervened with, this is what life becomes.
Yes.
Self-preservation.
Right. Which is, you know, in modern day is limiting.
So limiting.
I mean, you know, when we're talking about human relations.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah, because self-preservation is not a thing where I'm like, I'm going to go and build a social network. Self-preservation is I'm too fucking stressed out to do anything because, right? Like you need a calm and a desire to connect in order to make genuine connections. And those things happen slowly and in like a calm nervous system. But if you're in like fight or flight mode, you're not going to think that you have even the resources to do those things. But those things are also going to lead to joy and inevitable prosperity, but you don't feel you have the energy for them because you're in fight or flight. Or another example, if you're the kind of person who is self-preservation, you're probably not thinking about like stock market and investing. You're probably thinking about hiding cash in the mattress.
Right.
Which is, I mean, understandable, but it's not going to lead to thriving. It's going to lead to, so like those are some like concrete examples of what you're saying.
Yes.
In modern day human society, we have a lot accessible to us. We're not the humans from 5,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago. We can go we could go do laser tag right now.
Right.
We could get at the end of the podcast and go do laser tag. Flourishing. What does that take? That takes cars and money, those things that you have to build slowly over time and be in a state of calm to manage and take care of. You know what I mean? I'm saying thriving begets more thriving, and self-preservation begets more self-preservation.
Right, yes, exactly. It keeps you in a self-preservation state as opposed to a thriving state. And that money analogy is really good. I really like that because you're right, keeping you're keeping yourself limited to what you know. And you think you're guaranteeing safety when you could not only be safe, you could be free. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
It's like you're willing to risk the freedom out of fear that, you know, you're going to lose it.
Yeah. And then this is a human experience, and self-preservation and fear and stuff are totally a part of it.
Yeah.
But like, so are joy and ease and effortlessness and laughter, and like, we should experience the full birthright of it.
Right.
If we can. It's just hard to grapple with if you have strong self-preservation. It just takes a little time. But yeah, it's just good. It's just good to be thinking about this.
Yeah.
Because when we're talking about this now, like, it's clear, but I don't think it's really easy to know when you're in fight or flight and self-preservation
Right.
entirely. Just like my last example of the relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
I bet when I was talking to him, I was afraid he was going to trick me, and I was in fight or flight mode then.
Yeah.
And I bet when I was thinking about it before, I was in fight, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just thought I was being a reasonable human and protecting herself.
Right. Exactly.
So I think what my point is that it takes more awareness than it sounds to
Right.
get into, let things go and calm down and stuff.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Mm.
And I was just thinking is like when you're talking about that relationship, you were bracing for what you thought would happen.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you're bracing for what you think is the unknown, but the reality is everything is unknown all the time.
Yeah.
And like and you can't prepare yourself for anything really. I mean, like there's certain expectations that happen, but there's really no such thing as the known in terms of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there is, it's because you've designed it for yourself out of self-preservation.
Right.
Which is okay. Like, I'm saying that from an anxious perspective.
Yes.
And there's nothing self-soothing. Watching the same show over and over again would be sort of a small example of what you're kind of saying.
Right.
That's known. And then if we are living in the patterns we're describing, that's known.
Well, it is. But this is what I'm saying though, is like if we take a step back, and we redefine things as knowing that it doesn't have to be, because when we assume something is known, we're defining it and we're perpetuating it.
Yeah.
So I'm just offering another perspective. So like, even those things can be unknown and provide endless possibilities of happening that could benefit us.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Now I'm tracking a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think I get it now.
That's okay.
And that's so good about the well, it's funny that you're talking about the unknown so much, because the unknown was on your T tags so much yesterday.
That's right. Yeah.
The unknown kept coming up on your T tags.
Yeah.
And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think you've made a brilliant point about that all of that is adding up to knowing what's going to happen by way of perpetuating it is one way to live.
Yeah.
And not knowing what is going to happen is another way to live that you're talking about.
Yeah. Right.
Intellectually, we all know which is the better.
Right, like just releasing our expectations of something or our definition of, or, what we've defined things as, It's like, I don't know if this is a valid example or comparison, but like, it's like seeing a tree. I've defined it as a tree, and so now my perception of it is limited.
Yeah.
That is that's a living thing. That thing has got roots that are like getting nutrients from the soil. It's like communicating with its environment. There are animals that are using it for shelter. It's like it's connected to nature and therefore connected to us. There are so many beautiful aspects of the tree. It's forming a ring over every year. It's building. And it doesn't have to do anything. It's part of life. It is life.
Yeah.
And there's so much richness within a tree, but like we just know it as a tree, and I don't even think about it, and it's like now it's just some stationary thing in the background,
Yeah.
Like there's just opening up your perception of where life is in everything, and I'm just so grateful that we're now in nature for this conversation. Because,
Beautiful.
it's and even the rain coming down, it's like, okay, yeah, we call it rain, and it could be an annoyance, but it's like this is a process of shit with the clouds, and it's nourishing the plants, and it's it's the cycle of life. This is like beautiful shit.
Yeah. So good.
So yeah, I think when we define things, we limit it so much. And I guess I was trying to compare that with how we define like stuff that happens in our life, like meeting a new person in a relationship and defining it as either, okay, this is gonna maybe ultimately turn out bad, or this is, I need a lot of personal work before this can be successful. Like
Yeah.
we've already defined it, we've come with it subconsciously.
Yeah.
So it'll play out,
Yeah.
or that's what we'll see and experience, because that's what we're latched onto in terms of how we defined what it is to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about and appreciating the rain, it reminded me of our dream framework's definition of rain, which is like if you're running away from the rain, you're like not letting life in.
Oh, right.
But if you're like in your dream, if you're like out in the rain or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like I had one once where I was in this house with like so many rooms and the walls started to shake because the rain was coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, oh, the walls because of the rain. I need to remember this because of the rain, because I knew I was dreaming and I wanted to tell my like awakeness. So anyway, letting life in. Yeah.
Yeah. And oftentimes that's just about recognizing it. You
Yeah.
know? That's how you let it in. You recognize the life that's everywhere. And what we recognize is what we give life to.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's where we put our consciousness and the nature and quality of our consciousness. That's what we get to do. We also have some things we can do in the world, but that's our main, in my opinion, what I'm grappling with now is like, I think that's what we are as humans. We get a human life, and what we get to do is have conscious attention for a certain amount of time and put it wherever we want and see what that does.
Yeah, wherever we want.
Whatever we want and wherever we want and on whatever we want and whatever quality we want.
Yes.
We can have a restrictive, fear-based focus on stuff if we want.
Yes.
And the universe is like, there you go. We have given you. We have served it up
at
for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice job.
That's your request. You know, while we're complaining. That's so funny.
That is so funny.
Yeah, when the goodness is it's like the rain. It could be an annoyance or it could be life. Like, you know, it's really just, it's like, even when we're thinking of catastrophic thoughts and we're like complaining, like you're saying, but what if within that catastrophe that we're perceiving, something that we always dreamed of would happen from it, and it would just require that initial shock, because, you know, sometimes growth very often comes with growing pains, and so we have to experience like the undoing of stuff in order to let new stuff in, and blah blah blah. So
yeah, can you imagine how horrible it would be if nothing ever broke down? I've been thinking about that because I just went and watched Moana. Did you ever see Moana?
No.
Okay, so there was the cartoon and they've just made a live action one.
Okay.
And there's and while I was watching the hero's worst moment, it was making me think of hero's worst moments in general. And anyway, the hero's worst moment is when they're like, I guess I can't do this. Like, in both of, I'm thinking also of Avatar: The Last Airbender, because that's also a very, very powerful story.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I think it's The Legend of Korra. Sorry.
Okay.
The specifics don't really matter here, and I didn't even probably need to say it. Anyway, there are these moments when, you know, the hero's worst moment, she gives up. She says, clearly I'm not the right person for the job. Something goes horribly wrong.
Yeah.
She loses her support, and she looks like she's been abandoned by the person who she needed to help, and now she's not going to be able to complete her mission.
Yeah.
And she's like, I give up. And then her responsibilities are then taken away from her with the understanding that they'll find somebody else for the job. That's the hero's worst moment. And she gives it up, and then she's devastated. And that's when her, like, spirit grandmother comes and visit her and helps her discover herself again, and then she goes and takes back the responsibility, and then of course kicks fucking ass. So when that was happening, I was thinking back to The Legend of Korra, when she lost something hugely, hugely important to her identity and her role and her culture and everything, and hope for the world. Somebody from the spirit world comes and visits her then, and he's like, there's this moment of confusion about why he's there and how he could possibly be there, and he says, in our worst moments, we are most open to change. And so I just think when you're talking about how things need to break down sometimes, I think that's such an important part of the human experience.
Yeah, it's very important to understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Something really important is happening when things break down.
Yeah.
And things are not going your way.
Yeah.
That's, I think, confusing for this reality for me and other people sometimes. Is like,
yeah.
if we're these powerful beings and we are unconditionally loved and they want to give us whatever, the universe wants to give us whatever we want because we are these precious people, right?
Yeah.
That's the belief that a lot of people hold, right?
Yeah.
I hold.
Yeah.
But then, how do you reconcile that with the other shit? That things don't go as planned, and I guess this is as plausible as explanation as any to me. Is like some growth would not happen if things constantly always went the way we expected.
Yes, exactly.
And reality is bigger than our mind, and just because we think a certain thing should be, it's good for us to have it blown out of the water by being in a completely unpredictable universe with 8 billion other people doing different shit. It's quite humbling.
Yes.
It's quite it quite encourages us to connect with others, understand ourselves, understand others.
Yes.
Maybe evaluate what's important.
Right.
Otherwise, we might all end up, I don't know, solitary billionaires in castles, or what would we end up? I don't know.
Well, who knows, right? But the thing is like the idea of good and bad, the universe or whatever happens here. I mean, it's not thinking of good or bad. It doesn't define things that way. That's a purely human thing to say, oh, this is good and this is bad. The universe is just saying, oh, here is the most efficient way to make this happen. And the sooner we can accept that sometimes that involves going through pain, then the quicker what we want will happen.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes then when we see something that goes how we didn't plan, you know, we turn away from right when we're about to receive the good, because we then reroute ourselves based on what we think is happening.
Yeah.
But you know, there are an infinite number of pathways for anything to happen, and this is what they say in like the manifestation community, is that the how is not up to us. In fact, a big part of it is trusting that the how is taken care of in the most efficient way. Our goal, our only thing is to know what we want and believe in it to the point that we don't even have to want it. We know it's already there. And then the how unfolds for us.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's all about trusting the process.
Yeah.
And going through hell to get to the rainbows.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So and hell does not have to be bad. And like you were just saying, we gain so much from those events. So how is it bad? Why are we defining it as bad? You know, we are such surface level thinkers, you know, in the way we define things and how we experience them. It's well, at the same time, we can acknowledge that there's so much depth to everything. It's just interesting, like, you know, our level of definition of good and bad is so shallow.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, like I think, like I had it explained to me, and you had reinforced it, because I had recently seen, like, oh yeah, well, you've been putting in some big orders from this is in regard to what you're saying about you have to go through pain to get there. You had put some high orders in for these big things, and now what all the beliefs that are going to get in the way are manifesting as like depression or anger or whatever, or pain, grief, all of this stuff. And we're having all these negative experiences, like, oh, I just asked for that. How does that mean? Well, a lot of crap that you asked that needs to get out of the way is now coming out in your nervous system, and you're always saying like, allow that, because you're leveling up.
Right.
So I think it's so fascinating. It's like, okay, like I have this reality now, but I've decided that I want this reality now. I'd like that, please. Here's my manifestation. Okay, well now I don't feel like I can get out of bed because I'm so depressed, I'm so tired, I'm so weighed down. How am I ever going to pursue, you know?
Yeah.
I just think it's so fascinating because we've set, how cool is that we put in our order, and now our entire fucking energetic and biological system is getting us there.
Right. Yes.
We're metabolizing it.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, the leveling up process and the allowing of the suck somehow is a recalibration.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, somehow you had internalized those beliefs and they were just dormant. But if you really want to get them out, you're going to have to feel them instead of suppressing them. So they're going to come up and you're going to get another opportunity to feel them. So don't think that you, I don't know, don't tell a weird story about it or think that you are fucked, like it's not going to ever happen for you.
Right. You can either release them or reinforce them.
Yeah.
You know, and then the cycle starts over if you can't, learn to release.
Yeah.
That, it's just going to create a pattern.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was so grateful because, you had reminded me like a few months ago when I'm like crying to you on the phone, hysterical. You're like, good, yeah, you're probably leveling up now if you're feeling this level of pain. I'm like, oh, it can be so, I mean, I have to be careful that I don't bypass the pain either, but it can be so reassuring when you know why things hurt.
Right. It becomes less unbearable.
Yeah.
Like you can still process things and go through them without feeling hopeless.
Yes.
And I think that's really the point of the work because nothing is ever hopeless. And if you're going through it, you're bearing through it. You're getting through it,
Mm-hmm.
It's just about just reframing it. And you can still process it in the pain while not feeling hopeless by it. Or getting lost in an abyss.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Accepting and allowing, and that is like meeting yourself. Like accepting and allowing, though you've used the word allowing a lot, and I learned that word from you in psychic school actually, and it's like it's such a useful freaking skill, because I don't know about you, but my energy varies hugely from day to day. And so it's a constant like meeting where you're at. But especially if we're doing this work, if we set a high goal or whatever and crap is coming out, we are going to have to meet ourselves differently every day, depending on what crap is coming up, and work with it. And I think that is something I'm continuing to try to allow, because it can be weird to watch yourself have different ability to think, different ability to do, different energy, different mood, different sensitivity to different foods, but we have no idea, like what's going on under the hood. So working on the allowing piece of it. Anyways.
Absolutely.
Anyways.
Good stuff.
It is good stuff. But I like, for better or for worse, I kind of like to know what's up. I don't always, I'm still learning why things hurt when. So it helps when you're like, this has a point. We talk about that sometimes. It's like, if suffering seems endless and has no point, then that's a much more bleak and miserable outcome, or life that you might be looking at. Then if it has a
or
point.
Assuming.
Exactly. Boom. Mic drop. Is that it, you think?
I think so. I think it's a good time. Or how are you feeling?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
That was a great episode of The Waking Room.
Yes, thank you for joining us and being out in nature with us.
So good.
All right, we will see you next week.
See you next week.